But game is ready, so let's go into this. These guys have played before, and actually, you may be surprised by this statistic, but NightEnd's actually 2-1 against ThorZaIN in best of threes. He has won 2. ThorZaIN has only won 1 in their overall games against each other. On overall map score, though, ThorZaIN has got the advantage in that, only because he won his series more convincingly than NightEnd did. But it doesn't matter about the overall maps when you're actually winning in terms of best of threes. So will that trend continue?
Well, I guess we're about to find out, aren't we? Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to bring you Mousesport's Fnatic NightEnd. Let's get it right. And he is in the blue trunks, and he is playing Protoss to the northwest of the Shakuras Plateau versus his opponent, Mousesport ThorZaIN. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Terran to the southeast.
And, you know, ThorZaIN's record, has been 50-50 recently. He hasn't been playing that well until NASL. Yep. He's actually been in this kind of the frame that a lot of players may hit sometimes, is where they have mental blocks against themselves, where they feel the pressure a little bit too much, because when ThorZaIN entered the TSL, for example, he was an underdog. He was not ThorZaIN, the TSL 3 champion. He was an underdog. So you don't feel pressure when you're going into the game. Everybody thinks I'm going to lose. So, you know, what's the worst I can do?
Problem.
Lose?
Yeah.
So, but then when you get to the higher part, it's like really difficult because everybody expects you to win. And he was going through a bad stage, a lot of bad results. IPL 4 qualifier, DreamHack wasn't that good either. But then at NASL, he actually performed a lot better than he ever has done since TSL 3. And it looked like he was getting back in shape again. And according to his ladder results recently as well, incredibly high percentage of wins, playing so well recently. On the other hand, NightEnd, his record against Terran is actually really good, 6-4, so 6 wins, 4 losses the last 10. But you have to include 3 of them losses were against Puma at the DreamHack Winter Finals, and Puma is very good, by the way. So NightEnd is very, very good in this matchup. So this will definitely, can't even say clash of styles. It's like two same styles.
Very similar style. NightEnd has got excellent control. That's something we should definitely point out. His micro is really, really good, but he is I wouldn't say a slow player, but a very cautious player and a very calm player, and he is not really in the business of early rushing. ThorZaIN, well, we know about him. He's called the Spoon Killer. Yeah. And he takes a long time to win games, and that's fine. He is totally comfortable with going for the longer endurance games, and he... Honestly, I would say that's a really good demonstration of skill, and the reason is because the further the game goes on, the more things you've got that could potentially go wrong. There's a word that I'm trying to come up with that I've for some reason got a block on, and you know what I mean. Yeah, anyway, yeah. There's more things going on at any given time. The variables is the word that I was looking for. There you go. There are more variables going on every minute in the late game than there are in the early game, and if you can control that late game and not make mistakes, then yeah, that makes you a very, very good player indeed.
And just like ThorZaIN, NightEnd has a very tight build right now. Look at that, exactly down to 0 gas. As soon as Warp Gate Research and Stalker begins, 50-50 on each, and then actually takes off gas. So he is looking to expand, but very, very tight build, which is not something he's really known for, but on the other hand, ThorZaIN is. Yeah. He's very well known for his builds, and look at this. ThorZaIN going double gas after the second barracks. This basically tells us that he wants to throw, basically he's going to go ahead and tech faster. Of course, he's going to get stim a lot faster because of it, because he hasn't gone for another 150 minerals in another barracks. It's in the refinery, so you can have gas a lot faster, stims faster. He can start +1 faster as well, but he will be lower on units, though. That is definitely a problem. But NightEnd's a passive player, so you don't need 3 barracks, and we do see 2 more gateways do come down immediately after expanding. Want to keep that gateway count up as well. Meanwhile, ThorZaIN has expanded, and likewise as well, ThorZaIN's only in gas with 2 of each. 2 SCVs in each gas, which means his minerals are also going to start to climb up now as well, so he can actually invest in getting an engineering bay up nice and fast as well. And before he wants to go, he doesn't need all the gas to get stim and an engineering bay. He doesn't need gas to do that. But look at this, a pylon has been planted down here for NightEnd, and we may see a bit of pressure after the warp gate is finished with 3 gateways, but against ThorZaIN, he's like the uncrackable Terran.
Yeah. Unbelievable defense.
So good, so I don't really expect too many great results here from NightEnd if he tries that.
Yeah, I mean, he may poke with a few stalkers here and there. I don't expect him to commit to anything, especially not just on 3 gateways. But there's nothing he can really do. I mean, he can't kill the bunker. He can easily pull SCVs to repair it if need be. There's also a Marauder out as well. So any kind of attempted stalker aggression is going to be shut down really quickly. And I don't really see it working out so well. But NightEnd's going to warp in 3. The question is, does he warp in any more after that?
If he moves out, though, with these units, he gets caught out of position. That's a big problem. And especially because he's only on 2 barracks as well, not 3, as he's saved up that money, the minerals for the engineering bay now as well. So the engineering bay is going down. He's going to work on his upgrades nice and early. But if he gets caught out of position here, he could actually lose a lot. Only a single Marauder is out. A second one actually just joined the fray, but the first one can get picked off really easy.
Yeah, if he gets a good focus fire in there, which is what he's going for. Oh, that was a bit of miscontrol right there by NightEnd. He's running past there, not actually firing, losing some potential damage. But the thing is, you can pull the SCVs off the line, and it's just how much economic damage is done by the fact that these are not mining, traded to what NightEnd ends up losing. I mean, he loses 1 zealot, and he's lost a stalker in that engagement. He has killed 2 workers in total. They weren't actually on that line. They were workers that had gone scouting, and he's denied some mining time, but it's not exactly the most effective harassment.
No, it didn't work too much now. ThorZaIN needs to take the 3rd gas pretty soon here, as he's going up to medivacs now. He doesn't quite have enough gas right now, and there's the 3rd and 4th taken, because he's going to go for medivacs now. He also needs to add on a 3rd barracks very, very shortly here as well, still on 2, and his unit count is low, but there's a big opening for him now to hit +1 and stim before Colossus come out. And this is what NightEnd's known for as well, is going for very fast Colossus as well, and then taking the 3rd base with Colossus defense. But if you don't have the Colossus out, then you're going to be in trouble. And even if it does come out, it's not going to have thermal lance. Stim can snipe it off. So I think we're going to see basically ThorZaIN move out with the first 2 medivacs, may even go before, but probably with the first 2 medivacs to start to put the pressure back on to NightEnd, who is going to try and crawl up to Colossus very, very shortly.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. So we've got the Observer coming out first, and ThorZaIN pushing forward pretty quickly here with these upgrades. Combat Shield, of course, a shorter upgrade. It will still finish after Terran Infantry Weapon level 1, but it may be available. He's going to push out and see what he can see, and he can certainly apply some pressure here, and it's fairly easy to hold this for a while with sentries, but still, forcing that kind of energy out might be an option. But here we go. Robotics Bay is now on the way, and surprisingly, that is actually quite a fast build time for that. And chrono boosting out a Colossus wouldn't be so difficult. ThorZaIN's still got some opportunities here, though, especially with these medivacs. Yeah,
and here is that +1 timing attack. You know, there's literally, you want to start walking out just before it finishes, so you can hit it just as you can.
Yeah.
The only danger with doing that is a little bit risky because you can get caught in the middle of the map without that upgrade. But the first 2 medivacs are out. I expect ThorZaIN to be going right now, as this is the natural timing in this matchup to hit. And it's going to come down to NightEnd. Can he defend it? He does have enough sentries, enough force fields, because it's only a 2 force field ramp. So 2 force fields will be able to block it off quite easily. So I don't think he's going to be able to do too much damage. But the worry is, if ThorZaIN forces force fields to come down and then he drops in the main base, it's kind of a counter attack to what he's meant to be doing, and could do a lot of damage here, especially because the first Colossus is not out yet.
Yeah, this is really, really nice. This was actually a timing attack to go with the combat shield, because, of course, that was a little bit behind, and he has hit it pretty much perfectly in terms of his timing. The question is, can he actually get in there and hurt them? Now, a single force field's been put down. There's 2 more, and he was able to pick off a stalker earlier as well, but ThorZaIN doesn't really have a ready access route.
He's going to drop in the main, and it's not going to work.
No, never mind. He's actually using that just to see up the top. He wants to see how many units there are at the top. Then he even snipes off a stalker in the process. Nice bit of play there by ThorZaIN, but the longer this goes on, the worse this is going to get for him. Because
he can actually trap units, so tries to do it. Only gets 3 Marines though, so not that effective. But it's been shut down now. Nice force field, nice defense there by NightEnd.
Yep.
Not panicking, and there's the 3rd command center coming down for ThorZaIN. Likewise, NightEnd needs to take his 3rd base right now as well, and there is a factory being planted down by ThorZaIN to prevent that. So really nice play by ThorZaIN, and I'm actually surprised he didn't clean up that pylon yet on the right hand side, because he spotted it a long time ago. And already Vikings are on the way. The 2nd starport can go down now as well. Very, very soon. Actually, it already is being made, sorry. So there's the 2nd starport too. And a 2nd engineering bay and armory does need to come down. He needs to keep up with upgrades, especially against a player that's going double forge like we see NightEnd doing, where he's going to throw a lot of chrono boost into that.
Yeah, upgrades are becoming more and more popular for Protoss, especially double upgrades, because of the nerfs to the costs.
Yeah.
It's so easy to actually get going really quickly, and of course Chrono Boost does help out a lot in that regard as well. +1 and +1 has now begun for NightEnD. External Thermal Lance will be finished by the time the next wave attack comes in. And there's enough Vikings on the field at the moment to deal with this many Colossus. And it depends what NightEnD really decides to do. How many Colossus does he go up to? Does he prepare for a tech switch? Because that's, of course, a very popular strategy, is to prepare for some kind of tech switch. And with Zealot Charge coming up as well, if he were to throw down, say, a Templar Archives, he could switch into Zealot Archon as opposed to that, or maybe just go for High Templar.
ThorZaIN's going to hit this with 2 EMPs. An interesting strategy right now. Haven't really seen this too much, actually, and that Observer is going to get into the vision just about, yeah. So basically what he's going to try and do now is EMP the sentries, and then literally just walk up and kill everything. That's as simple as the strategy can be. I don't know if it's going to work, though, because as long as he spreads out the sentries, he should still have enough to cut the army up so that the Colossus can take effect. But look at the Viking count, man. It's currently at 9, about to be 11. Ship weapons is on the way as well. This is actually really difficult for NightEnD. I don't even think he can stay on Colossus. He's at 2 right now, 3 on the way. Seeing this, personally, I'm like, oh, Colossus is a waste of money right now. I only have 1, he has 2 starports. He needs to start thinking about tech switching. Going to Mortals is possible, but against a heavy Bioforce like this and EMPs, that won't work so well. So he's going to have to go into Templar Archives ASAP. But without a third base, he can't afford it. So how does NightEnD play? It's really difficult from here.
Yeah, ThorZaIN locks him down pretty effectively here. NightEnD suddenly discovers that there's a factory in the way, so that's going to prevent anything going down for a little while.
It actually may force NightEnD just to go 2-base attack and walk into his death, basically. ThorZaIN's playing so tight, no mistakes, no supply blocks. He realizes that NightEnD was probably just spent that money on Nexus and units, which he did, and throws down 3 bunkers to actually defend against this push, which should come. And I think ThorZaIN's going to be in an absolutely fantastic position.
I think so, honestly, I really, really do. And the factory will eventually die, but it is taking its time delaying that so much. And army supply count is pretty much as even as it's going to get. NightEnD has a very, very slight edge in that regard. A couple of Vikings left there by ThorZaIN, and that does give him some vision of the Force. Also, to start working on those Colossus as well. And since there's no blink, there's no chance of those really going down yet. We've got a wall of barracks being produced here, and the bunker at the front, which is nice. I mean, ThorZaIN is just controlling where this engagement is going to happen.
Yeah, Zealot Charge is done, but against these bunkers, it's going to filter the Zealots so much that they become almost ineffective. And with the Ghosts as well, they both have 2 EMPs, that's 4 in total each. You know, he's got enough. Basically, what NightEnd's trying to do is look for a better position. He can't fight with the cliff and bunkers around. He needs to come around from behind, basically. And that's his way to try and engage here. But, oh, the charge is used up on barracks.
Not a good start, and indeed a sneaky maneuver there by ThorZaIN. Oh, here it goes. This is going to be messy one way or the other. The EMP's going into the back. There's a lot of Zealots, but the Force fields end up actually filtering the Zealots as well. So that's a bit of a problem. The Colossus are dead, needless to say. And that Force is too big. There's no way. NightEnD can't crack that.
Restim now, and he cleans up absolutely everything. So as soon as Stim runs out, he restims. Everything is gone right there. So really, really solid play and defense there from ThorZaIN. Absolutely perfect.
Hard, yeah. I mean, how do you break that? You really, really don't. So smart as well to put the barracks down there, knowing that the Zealot composition was very high, knowing that there was, of course, the Zealot charge there, and a bit of a control mistake, allowing that charge to be used up. Charge, you might think, oh, charge is free, but charge does have a cooldown. It doesn't just happen all the time. So that was really nice play there by ThorZaIN, and then, of course, we ended up having the Force field actually filter the Zealots themselves, and it didn't really do all that much damage. So ThorZaIN in a really powerful position right now. Third has now been taken by NightEnD, but scary upgrades coming in right here from ThorZaIN. Look at working on 3-3 already.
Yeah, and you can take a 4th command center. You know, the Spoon is gonna take a 4th command center probably rather than go and attack. So I expect that very, very shortly here. But the Vikings at that high of a count, that fast, such a fast second starport, there's no, with +1 as well, there's absolutely no way that the Colossus could do damage worth their value. And now we're seeing the Templar Archives come down, knowing that Colossus just isn't the way to beat ThorZaIN right now. He needs to get a Zealot Archon out, he needs to get Storm out as well to fight against this low Ghost count right now. But because ThorZaIN's gained such a humongous lead, the 4th command center is going down, there's nothing he can do to actually prevent that.
Yeah, this is just terrifying.
And when 3-3 finishes, that's when we're going to see ThorZaIN move across the halfway line again, and it's going to be almost impossible. The 2 medivacs are going to drop the back, and look at this naked main base. Absolutely nothing. Templar Archives can go down, Robotics Facility can go down.
Oh dear, yes, I think for some people this is going to be rather erotic. Personally, I am averting my eyes right now. I don't play Terran anymore, but I know how much this is just incredibly devastating. It really is. The amount of damage you can do with that many upgrades. Snipes off the Templar Archives as well, so no more Archons coming in for the time being. And now slowly but surely, here it comes, rolling forward. Yeah. That's not enough to hold it. There are not enough units on the field right now.
Here come the EMP is going to land down, hopefully onto the Archons. He just stims away. Doesn't want to fight, unfortunately. But I mean, 3-3 isn't done yet. It'd be kind of wasteful to get 3-3, but he is pulling him out of position and into the main base. Going to snipe off a Colossus.
Oh, that Colossus might end up dying. It should end up dying by all rights. Down it goes, and NightEnd's control doesn't help there.
Fight at the same time, going crazy.
Plus. And ThorZaIN should be able to smash his way through here. You would think, honestly.
Doesn't even need 3-3.
Doesn't even matter. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. First game going to ThorZaIN. Really convincing win there by him. NightEnd not looking like he can compete with that kind of firepower of that magnitude, I suppose. It is, in fact, a trap, and it was a trap, actually, walking in there. A very subtle trap, but a trap nonetheless for those charging zealots.
And he played it amazingly. I mean, he read the game well, his build was solid, the timing attack forced a lot of low sentry energy, so that was a lot useless in the main fight, and ThorZaIN, like, where were his mistakes, you know? Tweet at me. What? Tell me. Tweet at Scan Computers. Go tell them ThorZaIN's mistakes.
You're going to have no idea what's going on right there. Tweet at Diapollo1337.
ThorZaIN should have taken a faster fourth instead of moving in the middle of the map.
No, what?
And Scan Computers like, I totally agree. No.
Yes, I totally agree. Buy our components.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's... oh, God. There were no mistakes. It was a flawless execution. There's really no question about that. The head comes off.
The spoon is back.
Yep.
Slapping away with that spoon.
Yes, he is.
He's back.
A very slow and painful decapitation, I feel, with the spoon.
Yeah.
He sharpened the edge to a razor. Unpleasant. But
that'd be dangerous, man.
What, a spoon sharpened? Razor spoon, yeah.
Razor spoon. Spoon murderer, killer.
Didn't Riddick do that, or was that a teacup he used? Yes, it was. I think it was a teacup he used to kill someone.
Well, it's just as dangerous as a spoon.
The teacup killer.